to her own hometown and interviewed her teachers. Some of them were her former teachers, and some of them were teachers at schools that she had attended in Petersburg.
I'm Cammie Peterson, and my project is Teaching in a Rural Community in Petersburg, Alaska. I grew up in Petersburg, and this is my 4th year in college at UAA. I'm also a liberal studies major, aspiring to be a teacher, and I was inspired by my 17 nieces and nephews. In the fall of 2010, I conducted research about teaching methods. I used the UAA Consortium Library to form a proposal to interview teachers on how they came up with their teaching methods. I was inspired to interview teachers from my hometown based on my classmates Anne and Jackie this semester. The purpose of this project for me personally was to learn about the challenges and strengths of teaching in a rural community. So using the UAA Consortium Library resources to find articles, I compiled them all into a literature table and an annotated bibliography. I found 4 teachers from Petersburg who were willing to be interviewed by me and conducted face-to-face as well as email interviews regarding their experiences. This is Petersburg, Alaska. That's an overview from Petersburg Mountain, which we climbed one time. And then this is the Sun of Norway, which is a landmark in Petersburg. And this is what the environment is kind of like. And commercial fishing and our canneries also play a really large part in our community. So the process for the interviews was when I went to Petersburg in March of 2011, I met with the 4 teachers from the elementary and high schools. I continued the interviews via email once I got back up here, and then compiled the answers to compare them. This is Ray C. Stedman Elementary School. Carrie Curtis and Debbie Drolovich were the 2 teachers that I interviewed from here. Carrie Curtis received her bachelor's in elementary ed in 2005 in Washington, where she also taught for 2 years. She moved back to Petersburg 3 years ago, where she now teaches preschool through 2nd grade. She wanted to come back home because she grew up there, and she also loves the close community, small class sizes, and the culture. Debbie Drolovich also grew up in a small town and wanted to try a new state. She taught in Cake, Alaska for 1 year and then moved to Petersburg and has been there for over 20 years. She says she loves the personal stake I invest into my students. Her subjects that she teaches are computer literacy, finance, accounting, journalism, and keyboarding. And she was my teacher from elementary school through high school. She continued moving up with us as we went. This is Petersburg High School. Jim Engel and Sue Harden work here, and they also were my teachers in high school. Jim Engel moved to Petersburg in 1992. He teaches American government, U.S. history, computer applications, and videography. He coaches baseball and used to coach basketball. He decided he wanted to move to Petersburg because he wanted to teach in a small community to feel more connected to the students. He had taught in an urban area prior and didn't like the disconnect and the not knowing the students and their families personally. Sue Harden has been teaching for over 20 years in Petersburg, and she teaches English and Spanish. She taught in a rural school in Montana beforehand. She came to Petersburg because her husband was transferred there, and then decided to stay because they liked it so much. She was also my English and Spanish teacher, and the really cool thing about her is she spends a lot of time during the summer traveling to Spanish-speaking countries to get to know the culture better. So, for challenges, the conclusions that most everyone agreed on was that there are more options for extracurricular activities in urban areas. There's less funding in smaller schools. There's also more historical landmarks in bigger cities, so students can get to know those areas. Personal relationships outside of the school sometimes cause conflict in smaller towns, and students sometimes get too comfortable and change their level of respect when they know teachers in and outside of the classroom. Some more challenges is the isolation feeling from being so far away from the States. The travel setbacks, students are missing school a lot more often when they need to go on vacation or for teams to go traveling. And what's known as the fishbowl aspect, which is small town knows everyone and everything. Some of the strengths that I concluded was the relatedness to the students, having come from a small town for many of the teachers. Students still have a variety of class options, even though we are a smaller school in Petersburg. Lots of extracurricular opportunities, always room to grow, and a lot of one-on-one attention. The school is the center of the community, and the students have support in academic, personal, and athletic aspects of their lives. All the teachers come from different areas, so that brings diversity to the school, so everybody's learning from a different area. We have a lot of cultural advantages in Petersburg, given the nature and the environment. There's a lot of unique opportunities for field trips in Petersburg, Alaska, such as our canneries, our hatcheries, and just going outside and playing in the woods. Commercial fishing gives students a unique opportunity to go and experience not only making lots of money, but more about their environment they come from. And there's a lot of specialized programs to help students with their special needs, and they're smaller groups so people get more one-on-one focus. If things could change, the teachers all agreed on the fact that they need more funding. They need less time for students out of class due to traveling, and giving the students a less sheltered lifestyle so they're more prepared for college. Growing up in a small town, you rarely fall through the cracks because there's so many people there to help you. But then when students go to college, sometimes it's more of a shock. So they wish there was a way to help students in that sense. And they always want more extracurricular activities. I'd like to thank Ann Jackie, my capstone A and B class from the fall and the spring, Carrie Curtis, Sue Harden, Jim Engel, Debbie Jolovich, and my family.